Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. I am the Channeling Goddess. If you are new here or if you are returning back, hi, hello, and welcome back. So today we are going to do a dream interpretation, okay? I haven't done one of these in what feels like a long time, but has only been a week. So I'm excited to dive into this dream to see what messages Spirit may have for us. Now, before we get started, as always, I do have two disclaimers. Well, technically, probably three. The first one is you may hear my dog barking in the background, so I apologize for that. She's a bit interesting is the best way I can put it. So you may hear her barking in the background. Disclaimer number two, these are my interpretations of my own dreams. So if you hear something that I'm saying and you derive a different interpretation, that is what these readings are for, okay? They are meant to be shared so that if there is additional messages for you that you see from the dream interpretation or from this dream, that's totally fine, right? You do not have to see exactly what I see. These are just my own interpretations of my dreams, okay? Disclaimer number three, make sure that if you are looking to get a specific message from this dream, it is helpful if you tap into your own intuition. And one way that I love to do this is by taking 3 mindful deep breaths. You want to inhale for 4 seconds, hold for 3, exhale for 5 to 6 seconds. If this is not something that you prefer doing, that's totally fine. Some people just like to lay down. Some people like to go outside and put their feet in the grass. Whatever floats your boat, whatever suits your fancy, that's what you can do, okay? So, excuse me, I'm still getting over a cold, so you may hear me clear my throat a lot. So we will go ahead and get started. Make sure that you grab your favorite snack, whatever it is, where you can get comfortable and listen to the dream interpretation, and we will go ahead and get started, okay? Okay, so it says, in my dream, myself and another young lady worked at Netflix as editors and people who choose movies. The woman is telling these two people who have head of titles how her mom tells the mom, so the mom has friends that are B-list actors. She tells her friends to do a great job in their parts that they're playing in the movies that are on Netflix, okay, to make her job easier. So the daughter and myself work at Netflix, and she's telling us about how her mom has B-list actors who are friends, and she tells, like, the mom tells those B-list actors to, like, do a good job so that her daughter's job will be easier. So I know that was, like, very confusing, but just wanted to explain that, okay? It says, she tells, wait, hold on. She tells them her mother... Oh, yeah. She tells us that her mother also told her something about taking pictures, and she ends up showing us some of her family photos, okay? The photos end up turning into a self-shot movie, okay? It's... the movie seems more like a musical, okay? Her in the movie that she's showing us on her phone, her and her family are in a hotel while she is there on business, okay? So this is in a dream. In the dream, they're at a hotel and she's there on business. They walk in, setting up the hotel, excuse me, and somehow I end up in the film. So while they're setting up the hotel, walking in, setting up the hotel, I'm somehow in the film now, okay? And then when they get into the hotel room, they have this jar of cream that smells amazing, right? I immediately think that the cream that I'm looking at, or what I think is cream, is for your hands. But the girl understood that it was put in the room to make it smell good. So like a burner, like one of those candle burners where you sit it under a light and then it heats up and you can smell the smell. That's what she said it was, right? So I tried to find a place for it in the room. I ended up finding a corner that almost burns my hand. So the corner where I put, the jar of cream, is very hot, and I almost burned my hand. It's hot enough that the scent will permeate through the room. That's why I wanted to put it in that corner, okay? At the end of the film, the lady asks the guy something, and he turns around, walking away, throwing his hands up. So I'm assuming the lady is the mom, okay? It says the lady tells her that means he will help her make the film. So it sounds like what we were doing in this hotel is going there, maybe to visit somebody to ask them to make a film, okay? And this person, he walked away throwing his hands up, but essentially that means he'll make the film, okay? Then another woman comes in to try and help, and she brings something that needs to be unwrapped. The guy in charge of shooting the film comes over, unwraps the gifts, and he starts saying, no, 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 when he sees it. I have to convince my child, so apparently my child is in the stream now. I have to convince my child that it won't be in the movie. So the thing that they're unwrapping is the thing that I'm having to convince her that won't be in the movie. She just has to fix the broken wheel in the back, okay? Also, the two head of people now seem like they are dating. The guy sits in a chair and the woman comes over and calls him, the woman comes over and the man calls her his love, okay? She leans down, taking a bite of the snack and he has in his mouth, and asks, so now I'm your love? I thought I was your servant. He smiles slightly and say, you are my love and my servant, okay? Now, while they're talking, this scene that's going on, it's like deja vu, okay? So I wrote that I have seen this happen before. He is going to move on to another woman who looks like her, but younger, and she will be furious, okay? So let's go back to the beginning. Let's go back to the beginning of the dream. Okay, so it says, myself and another woman work at Netflix as editors and people who choose movies. So I feel like, for me, Spirit is telling me that I'm going to be in a space where I might need an editor for my YouTube channel, but it could also be that I will be in a place where I get to rewrite stories, which, you know, my dreams will be a good example of that, but be able to edit and rewrite my own story, like in my actual life. Because everybody is in the process of writing their own book, right? We're all writing our own story. We're all writing, the story of our life, right? And Spirit is asking me to make some edits, right? For myself, right? Not for other people, but to essentially, I'm getting like Rewrite the Stars is what I'm getting from, what was that? The Greatest Showman. Almost like Spirit is saying that I have been living my life based off of the expectations that other people have of me and not of my own life. And Spirit is saying that there may be someone that will come in to help me make those edits to my life, okay? And then the woman is telling her that these two head of people, so the woman is talking to these two head of people, about how her mom tells B-list actors and friends to be great in their parts that they play in movies to make her daughter's job easier. For me, this is Spirit telling me that things are going to be happening on the back end to make my everyday life easier, to make the things that I have to deal with on a regular basis a little bit more easier, because it can, a lot of times in life when we're making changes, when we're doing things different, when we're editing, sometimes if you've ever done any edits, it is not the easiest thing to do. I learned that the hard way when I first started doing YouTube. Not when I first started, but like recently when I've been like looking up how to edit and how to change things and add things to like your videos. It is a lot harder than I thought it would be. And Spirit is saying that there are going to be people on the back end. So like this could be my spirit guides, this could be my angels, ancestors, whatever the case may be. They're going to be working things out on my behalf to make things a bit easier. Okay. And then, so then it says the mother tells her something. The girl tells us that her mother told her something about taking pictures, and she ends up showing us some of her family photos. I think a lot of this is going to have the shifting and the changes that are happening in my life will have a lot to do with my own family. And then even in this dream, like it turned into a movie, right? So it's almost like Spirit is saying that the things that maybe I wanted to do, like, think of like a vision board, things you put on your vision boards, things that I put on my vision board that I want to do. They're not just going to be photos now, they're going to be actual movies. They're going to be things that are going to be put into play, right? So in this video, or these pictures that essentially turns into a movie, it's like a musical of sorts, which is like perfect for me because I freaking love musicals. Like, that's my thing. Okay, I freaking love musicals, right? It says her and her family are in a hotel on business. They're setting up the hotel, and immediately you see that I'm actually I'm in the film this time, right? Even though I was watching it, I'm in the film now. And then it says, and I have this jar of cream that smells amazing. So here, well, in the dream, this young lady was talking about the jar of cream was actually candles. It's amazing to me that I picked this dream, and technically I didn't pick it, right? I kind of took my book, I reached out to Spirit and just said, hey, give me a message that is like, help me pick a dream that should be interpreted right now for the collective, right? And here's what's funny, okay? I just started making body butter. And if that particular one smells like orange creamsicle, and when I read this, it's the first thing that I thought of, okay? So, it talks about in the dream where she talks about it, it's actually designed to make the room smell good, and you have to put it in a certain spot. And when I put it in that certain spot, I almost burned my hand. I think Spirit is telling me to not lose sight of the things that I'm actually here to do, but also don't rush to move things forward too fast, right? Because I was in a rush to get that into the corner so that the room can start, like the scent can permeate it throughout the room and it could really smell great and blah, 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 blah. And it's like Spirit was telling me, like, take your time. Like, take your time doing this. The jars, whoever is supposed to get this cream will get this cream, like whatever the case may be, right? But it was almost, to me, for me to have this dream. And what's crazy is this dream, I had it, I think it was last year. Hold on, let me double check. Yeah, I had it last year. In the month of March, right? I think it was March 17th, right? So for me, and especially back then, I was not even thinking about body butter. It was not something that I, contemplated doing. So for me to go back to that, like this particular dream, and to have that kind of revelation, so to speak, about something that I recently started doing, probably over the last, I made this on Friday of last week. So it's only been a couple of days, right? So I just thought that was very interesting. It was almost like Spirit was giving me confirmation to keep going. That is great that I enjoy doing this. This is something I should do, but don't try to move too fast, right? Don't try to put it in a place where it'll be highlighted. Spirit is going to do that for me, okay? What else? Let's go. Okay, so then and here's another confirmation to me. The lady was asking the guy something, and he turns around, walking away, throwing his hands up. The lady tells her daughter, I guess, he will help make the film, okay? The next thing I see, I don't even know if I said this, the next thing I see is the guy being the voice actor of a stuffed animal in his hand. Then the other woman comes in and try to help, and she brings something that needs to be unwrapped. For me, this was Spirit saying, like, which is crazy because, like, the man throwing up the hands, like, and the lady saying that's a sign that he'll help us. I think Spirit is saying, like, take your time, right? That you don't have to keep asking questions. A lot of times, and I had to recently just learn this with something else that I was dealing with in my life. A lot of times the ball is in our court, right? We wait for Spirit to say, okay, Spirit, I need a specific sign. I need to do blah, 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 blah. And this is not all the time, right? This was in this specific situation that I was dealing with, but I'm being called to share it. So in this particular situation, I was asking for a sign. And essentially, Spirit had to, like, hit me up across the head, so to speak. And he essentially told me, like, we already gave you a sign that you are on the right path. We understand that you're an overthinker. You need a little bit more, but now we need you to have a little bit more faith in us. We need you to make a decision. because the ball is in your court. Whatever you decide to do, we will support you 110%. And for me, this dream was highlighting that. You don't need to keep asking me. I'm going to support you. It is what it is. Like, you've already made the trip. You've already done what you needed to do. You don't have to keep asking me. I am going to help you. I will send the people that you need in order to help you do whatever it is that you want to do. But you have to make a decision and you have to move. Okay. So let's see. Yeah, it said, then the guy in charge shooting the film comes over, unwraps the gift, saying, no, 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 when he sees it. I have to convince my daughter that it won't be in the movie. She just has to fix the back wheel in the back, right? Now, here's the thing that's kind of funny about this. It's amazing how specific Spirit will get for you, okay? My back tire... Literally, my back tire on the passenger side was recently patched-ish. Okay, I'm going to say patched-ish. And a friend of mine was telling me, hey, you can take it to a shop. They will like patch it up really, really good. Because the tires are actually really, really good tires, right? And the person was telling me, like, you can go to a shop, they'll patch it up for you. They'll like put this adhesive in the inside and it'll be fine. You can keep riding on it. And while, yes, it sounds good and yes, it will save money, I have some long distance trips that are coming up. And my goal was to just replace it, right? I just wanted to replace a tire because if I know if I replace it, then I'm good, right? And to me, for me to get this, for me to pick this dream is like Spirit is saying, yes, it would be great to patch it up, right? But because of the trips that you know you're going to have to take, just go ahead and spend the money and get the tire, right? So this is just second confirmation for me, like, to just do what it is that I want to do. And for some of you, you may have the same issue where you're kind of trying to decide if you want to fix something. It doesn't have to be a tire, but you found a way to like temporarily fix it or like hold it together until you get the right money or whatever the case may be. And Spirit is saying, don't let the idea or like somebody talk you into just doing it that way, even when you already know that you need to just go all the way and get it done completely, right? Like, I'm hearing like this could be somebody got like tooth issues or something like that. You found a way to like subside it, but Spirit is saying you need to go get it fixed. Okay, so let's keep going. It says, then the two head of people are dating somewhat, like, because they look like they were dating. Then it says the guy sits in a chair and the woman comes over and he calls her his love. She leans down, taking a bite of the snack he has in his mouth, and asks, so now I'm your love? I thought I was your servant. He smiles slightly, saying, you are my love and my servant. And I say, I have seen this before. He is going to move on to another woman who looks like her but younger, and she will be furious. To me, this message is saying to me that don't let anybody dim who you are, right? And also, I think it was Maya Angelou who said, when people show you who they are, believe them. This person had already called her a servant, right? And now he was calling her his love, right? Because he wanted to use her, right? And I think for me, Spirit is just confirming that I just need to do what, like, I need to trust my instincts, trust that first mind. A lot of us, we don't trust our first mind, but I have found that trusting my first mind have led me down a path of just like a great path, right? A path of understanding in some cases. And specifically for this, Spirit is telling me that I need to be careful and trust people when they say something, like, because sometimes people will say things as a joke, like, oh my God, you're like just an example. Let it say somebody was like, oh my God, you always like butting into my business and blah, 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 blah. And then they turn it into a joke. A lot of times, especially if they're saying it off like the dome, off the cuff, they really mean that. But they put it in a joking manner because they know that what they're saying kind of sounds a bit weird, right? Spirit is telling me to be more vigilant at the things that people are saying to me and trust them when they say those things to me, because what I'm feeling in that moment, what I'm hearing in that moment is their true self, is the real them, right? So we're going to pull some cards. I'm going to put this book up, but we're going to pull some cards to see if there's any additional messages that Spirit might have for us, okay? All right, let's pull Let's pull some cards. Whew. Let's see. Alrighty, let's get us some cards. Oh, that was quick. So we have the cosmic heart. I don't know why I want to say the cosmos. The cosmic heart, devotion, potency, make your life a moving prayer. And then we have called soul, gifts, and training. It's time to step up. Yep. There are things that are going to be happening in my life where I'm going to be called to step up. And part of me understanding myself and my own discernment is listening to when people say, like at the end where I was talking about how when people show you who they are, believe them. Spirit is telling me to do that. Spirit is telling me not to forget to trust my own intuition because I'm being called someplace. And also, it also tells me that when I'm having those, I don't want to call them premonitions, but when I have that understanding that somebody is really showing me who they are, to believe them, it's almost like for some reason, every time I do that, I'm just going to get closer to this door to my own understanding, to really tapping into the messages and the gifts that Spirit has for me. And then it says devotion, potency, make your life a moving prayer. I think for me, this is talking about making sure that I'm staying in connection with Spirit, making sure that everything that I do is intentional. Every move that I make is I have somewhere that I'm going. Like even with the editing process, like I talked about in the beginning, the thing where I'm changing people's lives, like making my life a moving prayer, will give me the opportunity to be in gratitude, to be in tune with Spirit so that I can help edit, right? Things in other people's lives, because I feel like I'm supposed to help do some turning around and some reshifting, in other people's lives. Okay. So let's get one last card and then we'll look at the bottom deck energy. Spirit, can we get one last card from this deck, please? Oops. I'm going to keep shuffling. It's meant to come out, it'll come out again. Okay. We have the Courageous Peony. So it says multifaceted, unique nature, let yourself be seen. Yeah. And then bottom deck energy. Wow. It says portal. Doors are opening. You decide. Rewards. Wild card. Yeah. So Spirit is saying that doors are opening for me, like I talked about with the cream, right? The body butter that I make. Doors are opening for me, but I need to take my time, right? I am opening to unique gifts that are specifically for me. And I think to me, this is also talking about allowing myself to be seen, because as you can see, I do not put my face on YouTube. But I think Spirit is asking me to let myself be seen more. And this doesn't necessarily have to be like my physical appearance. It could also be understanding the kind of power that I have, like talking about me being an editor, right? Talking about me writing my own story in my own life. For some of us, this could be actually physically talking about writing a story, right? If you are a writer, this could be a sign that Spirit is saying you need to write your own story, right? That story that you've been putting off, the one that you keep saying, oh, I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it. Spirit is saying you need to do that. You need to take it. Something about you doing this is gonna be a portal to something beautiful. There is a wild card there as well as rewards, like, because it talks about this. You decide, you make the decision. Once you decide, everything else is going to fall into place. Okay, let's get a couple of cards. I'm going to shuffle one time from this deck. Okay, Spirit, can we get a couple of cards? Okay, we have rest and rejuvenation. Okay. Ooh. Some of us may be being called to rest. And then we have Angel of Balance. You may see a lot of blue in your dreams, or just in general see blue. You may be a police officer, or you may back the blue. I'm not sure. That's just coming through. So that may be a confirmation for you if that resonates with you. And then bottom deck energy is cornucopia. I'll move this over a little bit. Okay. So Spirit is asking a lot of us to, okay, for some of you, you need to come out of rest. You've been resting too much. which sounds weird, but it may be that now that spring is here, things are going to be really taking off for you. Things are going to be shifting and changing for you. And Spirit is saying your rest period is over, so to speak. And some of you, this may terrify you to hear that, but Spirit is saying your rest period is over. The time to sit back and hope somebody else does this thing that you need to do. Spirit is saying that period is over for you. Now you have to act. Spirit is also saying make sure that you have balance in acting. So like for me, I know that this rest and rejuvenation for me is talking about coming out of that resting period, coming out of I'll let everybody else do it and I'll sit back and see how it turns out. Spirit is saying you can't do that anymore. That's what Spirit is telling me. You can't do that anymore. You have to take action. Like in the dream, they went on this business trip to get what it is that they needed done. And Spirit is saying that I need to come out of this rest and rejuvenation space. Because, and I've been warned, like I got a couple of warnings from different tarot readers basically saying that, you know, your period of rest will be over in April, and we're a couple of days from April, so I'm not surprised. And then I have Angel of Balance here. So Spirit is asking me to balance out, to not overdo it, which probably tells me that the amount of videos that I am doing on YouTube will probably slow down. I don't know. But I'll definitely do a little bit more meditation on that and see what comes through for me. But this could be a message for someone else that you are doing a lot and you need to balance, or you will be doing a lot soon and you need to rebalance yourself. You need to learn how to also, in the midst of all of this, to take a break, to rest. But this period where you've been resting for so long, you're coming out of hibernation. I know that for me, this is definitely talking about coming out of hibernation. And then we have cornucopia here, right under the portal, rewards, you decide, wild card, doors are opening card. Spirit is saying that we're about to come into a time of abundance. We're about to come into a time of growth. Also, this feels like any seeds that you planted, and I'm seeing the year 2020 in my mind's eye. Any seeds that we've planted in 2020, they are starting to come to fruition right now. We may be finishing, like making the final finishing touches on this. And then we have 11:11 here. So to me, I feel like Spirit is telling me that there are going to be a lot of rewards coming for me, things that I don't see coming, things that I have never anticipated, but also some things that I wanted but didn't think were for me. Spirit is saying that there are going to be a lot of blessings because now I've made a choice. Now I've decided to move, and Spirit is going to support me through this. They're just asking me to make sure that if I feel burnt out, to rest, give myself a break, don't overdo it, pace myself, give myself a schedule, and then find balance in the things that I love to do. Like when I made this body butter, I was like a freaking kid in a candy store. I loved the way it turned out. The consistency of it was just perfect. And to have that be something that I can definitely see myself doing long term is just mwah. So I'm excited about that, but Spirit is saying there's a lot of abundance that's going to come through this. There's a lot of authority, because blue also talks about authority. There's a lot of authority that's going to come with this, but I need to learn to balance myself, rest when rest is needed, but to also enjoy the fruits of my labor. Okay. Alrighty. So we did pretty good time and we're almost close to 30 minutes. So this is all of the messages that I have. Please feel free to write down in the comments if this resonated with you at all. And I will see you next time. Bye.